Welcome to Fraser 365. I'm Will Adams, Media Director at Fraser Church in Montgomery, Alabama. And during these weeks, I'm going to be doing a series of interviews for our daily devotional. This week, I'm here with Senior Pastor Chris Montgomery, and each day this week I'll be asking him a question. Okay, Chris, well, we've arrived at the end of our week of interview questions, and today's Sunday. What are you hoping people are going to take away from your message this morning?
Yeah, when we think about Isaiah and Isaiah's call, two things that I really want people to take away. One is Isaiah said, "Here am I, send me." He didn't say, "Here am I, send me if." He didn't say, "Here am I, send me as long as." He just said, "Here am I, send me." That's the first thing. That's the first thing. The second that I hope people walk away from is not only can they say, "Here am I, send me." You can actually say that. But after Isaiah said, "Here am I, send me," he spent the rest of his life serving God. And so it's the two things. I want people to know that they can get started. Here am I, send me, absolutely. And we talked about what it means, some things about getting started. But you can get started. You can say, here am I, send me. But also, you actually can be faithful. You can actually serve the Lord for the rest of the days of your life. There's becoming this assumption in our world that you have to burn up or burn out. And it's just kind of like people are just sitting around watching, like, when's the next one going to happen? And most of the time we're talking about pastors, but people do it just in ministry all the time. Faithful lay people who just come to that point where, whether it's retirement mentality sets in or whatever it is, and they just kind of throw up their hands and say, "I've done that. I'm going to just sit and soak," or that my season's over or whatever. And I just want people to know you can say yes and get started, and then you can actually be faithful to the end. And that's what I'm praying for people, that people will say a radical yes, no matter where the Lord's calling them. But then also they hear the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant," at the end. And I want people to enjoy, we talk about our golden years of life. What do you want your last 10 years of ministry to look like before you go be with the Lord? I think we need to think about those kinds of things.
I'm just reminded of when I was reading in Leviticus, actually, I think it was, or Deuteronomy. It was one of the old books of the law, and I caught a passage I'd never seen before that kind of disrupted this idea that sometimes people will say, well, retirement's not in the Bible. I actually read a spot where it actually does say when someone has gotten too old to labor, this is what they should do. And it says that they should assist the Levitical priests.
That's right. Yeah. Seasons are going to change. We change. We can even become limited in some of the things we can do. But that does not mean that being faithful to what the Lord's calling you to in that season has to stop. It doesn't. And I think there's a resilience that is needed in the body of Christ. Again, let me just be faithful to the end.